this is gonna be a bit of a nightmare probably. Anyways, welcome back. It's 2025. I took a nice long vacation break. This is very much needed. But yeah, we're gonna try something different. I am in my bed right now. I didn't want to get out of my bed, so now I'm here. And one thing that I wanted to start doing this year was working on some crafts, kind of, but like stuff that can be sold or like found. So this is kind of what I'm doing. I'm making a bunch of different squares to make scarves, which I've done before, like this. And this is mine. But, so yeah, I'm making a bunch of them. We'll see what happens. I'm going to put them up on my Ko-Fi, which now is in my links. And if you want to get one, you can get one. And you can see what they look like as we go. But, yeah, this will be interesting. And we can just hang out for a bit and see where we go. I am very awkward and all stressed out right now, because I haven't done this in a while, and it's hard to get in front of a camera sometimes, but I think it's still a process. It's something that I have to do every day in order to get more comfortable. So yeah, we'll figure it out as I go. Right now I'm doing a lot of green. I picked up a bunch of random things from my grandma's house because she has so many pieces of yarn that she never uses anymore, and I thought I would put them into my own hands and make some stuff. So I did like this one, this kind, which I'm going to keep going on with, and then this, and then I have more different colors as we go along, and then we'll see what I can make with it. I do need white, but I don't know where to get it. I'll go hunting. We'll go hunting. But yeah, I've been crocheting for 4 years now. I learned when I was little from my grandmother. She tried to teach me a lot. Both of them did. Grandma G taught me how to crochet and like knit, but I have no idea how to knit anymore. And my Grandma C taught me painting and sewing, which is something also that I'm going to go back into because I took some fabric from her house, and my plan is to make patches and just paint on the patches of like different characters and stuff, and make a little bit extra cash that way. Just trying different things and being more expressive in my art and putting it out for the world, because I'm not going to keep all of these, but I hope that other people appreciate them, because they're handmade and handmade by me. But yeah, so for people who don't know about crochet, it's one of the harder ones when it comes to textile arts, like fabric arts. Just because I think it's one of the hardest because it's just really time consuming, and there's a lot involved. So like you have the hook, but the hook always has to go into these, but then you wrap around things and you go like this. And you kind of just build, but also you have to like figure out the right hand movements and where to place the yarn and stuff. And I'm not very great at teaching sometimes, mostly because I've tried it before and it did not go out smoothly. Just I don't know why. Maybe it's the words that I was using, or like when you do when you're filming it, it's backwards, so it's a little bit more confusing if you're doing a face front camera like this. And I was doing it on FaceTime, which is even weirder. Like if I was doing it in person, it'd be different. But yeah, it's pretty much just like the issue of it is you have to make sure that it's always done with the proper tension. And once you get used to the tension pulls, and then once you get used to just like the pattern of it, it gets super easy. Also, like, there's so many different patterns for different projects, which can be difficult if you don't know how to read a pattern, which I didn't really know that well until recently. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I just don't know how I'm going to put this one together, because like you have the browns, then you have the green, and then you have like this weird one, which I'll show you again, like this weird color. So you kind of have to like match those. So I have to find like some type of gold that kind of matches it, or like a white or a beige. But then I don't want it to be like too musty or like dark or like tree-like. But who knows, maybe somebody's more interested in that. But yeah. I hope your Christmas or your holidays were pretty good. Mine were a little bit, it was very like opening and reflective about like how I see my life and like what I want and where I'm going. I went to Calgary and Banff for 1 week during the Christmas because my brother works there and my family wanted to go see him. And then the past week I was kind of like, went back to my place. Did I need to? I don't know, I don't think I did. And then I went back to see my family for a few days, and that kind of was all over the place. So it's just really reflective of like how I choose to see people, because I have always been a person who is very isolated but in my own accord. And I don't mean to, it's just always how it's kind of panned out in a way. And I'm trying to get better at it. And also it can be definitely be something like something I always like do to myself. Like I use it as a crutch sometimes. So it was really interesting how to be like a part of my family again, and like part of talking to people and understanding about like their lives and like their emotions and stuff, which I think I like to say that I pay attention to that, but I don't think I do as much as I should, or be more like empathetic towards other people's feelings sometimes, and then I tend to regret it after. But I think that's just a bit of the human experience, which again, the human experience is such a roller coaster, and the point of it all is to like constantly learn from that roller coaster and try to do better as you go forward. But then for me, it's just like trying to remember those types of lessons when I'm going, right? And then like sometimes it feels like, oh, I'm going backwards because I was doing so well, and then something hits and you're like, oh shit, am I paying attention to the right things? And then you rethink everything, and then you get like in your head about it, and you're like, oh my god, I really wasn't paying attention to anything. And that can tend to be like a bit of a backfire, and I can't tell if that's like the right way of doing something, but I don't think there is really a right way. You just have to go through the motions and then try again, and then do your best. Because yeah, everyone's going through their shit, especially these days, and then automatically assuming that like it's not as big as it is so unjustifiable and like ignorant of me in a way. And I really have to work on that, while also understanding that like their feelings are not your own, and you can only do so much for a person, but then they have to figure out their own way of doing things. There's a balance. There's a true balance, and it's kind of like you're just going through that loop of like the big emotions, coming back into the middle to settle and balance yourself, and then go back into a different set of emotions of thinking, and then back into the middle. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that way. And I think over the year I have been really good at not managing that loop, but like mastering that loop. But like the loop is part of life, and we all go through it, and we constantly question everything, and then we go back to center, and then we question everything again, and then we go back to center, and then we question. So yeah, it's really weird that way, and that's something I'm learning. And also I think it's really, how do I explain it, like, I think I know, or I know that I see a different side of the world that a lot of people don't see, and that's perfectly fine. Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze. Yeah. But, with that, it's like, what kind of do you give advice to people about that, and does that advice hit in the way that you want it to hit, right? And that's based off of if people want to resonate with that or not resonate with that, but then I don't know. So there's like that weird notion of, yeah, this is my advice to give, but am I even the right person to fully give that advice sometimes, because I'm not even thinking about it as much, or I put out like a thing about how life always changes fast and we have to appreciate the moments, and then empathize with everything, and empathize with ourselves, and empathize with other people, and just try to be mindful of all those things, because the time moves so fast and we don't get as much as we think we do. But then, in contrast to that, am I just blatantly being, sorry, my nose, am I just being unfair in those words, or am I also paying attention to the fact that, am I being that person that I am saying that we should be as people? So yeah, I don't know, it's weird that way. It is what it is, and what I've learned from the experience of this weekend is to just stay out of other people's drama and just try to be there for people when they need it most, because I think we tend to forget that we are not alone in this scenario, even though a lot of people in this world don't seem to notice or care about what we're thinking or feeling, because we all care about ourselves. And as a person, I should do better in that scenario as well. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, cool. Hi. Thank you. Wow. I did not notice that. Hello. Welcome. Sorry if I got really deep. It was not sorry, but we should definitely be talking about these things. But yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed that, I guess, maybe, or you followed me. Thank you. But yeah, I don't know. It's been very like an interesting wake-up call in life. Okay, so yeah, my Banff trip, that was really fun, because it was just, I haven't really been out in the like, besides my own city, like, I haven't been anywhere crazy, or like with lakes, or with nature, and I do really miss it, because like, I didn't grow up in a very nature-esque world, but it was a lot more rural compared to a city that I'm in right now, so it's really interesting. Immediately when we landed, which was crazy, immediately, because I get it, like, there's going to be wildlife and like things all around, but it was just so weird, because I was like looking at the window when we were landing, and there was a raven on the tarmac, and it was just staring like down while we were moving down, and I thought that was so cool, because like, first off, the raven is the sign of like mystic, and like the mystic is watching and stuff, so I thought that was really cool. And while we were landing, because I was also very afraid, because I haven't been on a plane in forever, and I don't like being on planes that much, so when we landed and then that was there, I was just like, maybe it's not, like, maybe it'll be okay, maybe I was being like watched in a way, and that this trip will be great, because I was very nervous about this trip, because I had a dispute with my job before I left, and I no longer work there, and then going into the vacation and not telling anybody that, and just trying to make sure that it doesn't affect the vacation, but also I haven't seen my family in forever, and like doing family trips is always very interesting. I think a lot of people also deal with that, but so I had like a lot of more worries and concerns going into it, and then with that, it kind of just like helped me breathe a bit and just realize that it'll be okay. It'll be okay. It is what it is. We'll work through it. And so yeah, that was really cool. And then they were kind of like around the whole trip. Mostly what we did was So I went to Banff last year in the summer, and there was a lot more of like nature treks and stuff because it was the summer, so we didn't have the winter and like the cold. So we got to explore more. Where this one, it was kind of like it was Christmas, so we just wanted to spend time with each other, and we kind of just shopped and stuff. So it wasn't as big, but it was like a whole week. And like the first day in Calgary, we like checked out all these places. We went to the Calgary Snake Bean. It was okay. It's not open in the sense that like people are allowed to go in there. It was just like completely open, the whole field. None of the gates were closed, so we just walked up onto the field, and it was so cool. I got some really cool pictures. Um, and when my dad was on the field, he like ran into this white rabbit, and it was so cool. And then we went to check out the Calgary Flames stadium. I am not a hockey person. I have no idea what's happening. But then we got free tickets to go in, and we got to see like the Wranglers and stuff, and that was a really cool experience because I don't think we would ever see the stadium in our lives, and I thought that was really cool. And it's kind of just shows like anything can happen. But no, that was really cool. And then yeah, we went to Banff finally. We didn't really do much. We stayed in a cab, like a lodge sort of thing. And we just hung out the first day with my brother and his girlfriend, and then the next day was Christmas Eve, which I was so proud of that day because it was kind of like a day of new things to do, or like things that usually you wouldn't expect to happen, or well, not for me, but for my family. Like, I'm very proud of them. My dad went skiing for the first time in forever, which was crazy, and my mom and I went to the Lake Louise, and it was completely frozen, and we walked on it, which was so cool. And it was kind of like thrilling, and we saw like the blue waterfall and like like they had horse carriages and shit, and it was really cool. Sorry. And then yeah, so that's what we kind of ended up doing. Christmas Day, stayed in, made dinner and everything. Next day, Banff shopping because it was Boxing Day. Got some cool stuff. Got a really cool necklace, which was a jade, which I don't know, kind of was just speaking to me. And then an otter necklace because the otter of adaptability and playfulness, which I hope to do as my whole New Year resolution. So yeah, and then that was pretty much it. The vacation kind of ended. It was just a really good time to spend with my family. It really taught me about like discernment, just letting things be, and just like enjoying the moment for what it is, because that's pretty much the point of a vacation. Hi. Oh my god, hey, how are you? I am currently crocheting. I'm making a scarf, but I don't really know how I want to go about it yet, so I've just been making squares and then hopefully put it together. But how are you? How's your day? How's your Monday? And yeah. Good, that's cool. That's cool. Do you crochet or anything? Are you just wondering? It's something that a lot of people have recently picked up, I guess, on the internet. How's my day? Oh, pretty good. I like just woke up, I got coffee, and then I was like, hey, let's do this again, because I haven't done this in a very long time. Trying to get myself more not afraid of a camera, like of a live camera, more so than anything. And also just to get me out of my mojo of vacation mode, get back into doing more creative stuff and working. But yeah, it's been good. It's kind of like I had to do it before the sun went down too, because you know, winter, the sun goes down like crazy. But yeah. And I was like talking about my vacation, which was really fun. But yeah. My like plan essentially for this is like I want to make a bunch of different scarves with different squares, which I tend to be really good with because I have this one, which is mine. And the thing I like about it the most is the fact that it's long and it's thick, so it's like you stick it over your head and then you can wrap it around, because that was like the best thing about Christmas, like with the winter. And I like the color, so I think I'm gonna stick with it. Okay, thank you. Well, I know, but like, thank you. It's very nice. Um, but yeah, that's kind of been my thing, and I just sit here and I talk and answer questions and stuff, and crochet and create art. Yeah. Mm. And then you might get cat content if they ever decide to show up, but that's pretty much it. I haven't really been consuming a lot. I know, like, before when I used to do this, I talked about like the things I'm consuming. Haven't been reading. Just been watching a lot of YouTube videos because what is up with like the fact that none of the streaming platforms have good television anymore? Like, I don't understand why they don't put on good movies. Crave has like no movies, and for some reason they all turn out being French for some reason. Which I'm not complaining, I just don't know how to speak French. And I'd love to watch Before Sunrise, Before Sunset. That one? You live in the Netherlands? Oh, cool. Is it? Yeah, it's probably like really cold there at this point. um, I've always thought about like looking to travel there, but also I don't know anything about traveling, and who knows, but um, yeah, that's really cool. I like that. It's interesting that you got all the way over here. I wonder how you found this. More so just like going around different channels and seeing, maybe? I know that that's like a thing. But, it is now oh my god, no thank you. That's so, even anything under, like, the 0, I am more of a heat person, so I would just not appreciate that at all. I know that's not too bad, but it is pretty bad for me. Like, I would hate that. But I can respect it. um, that's really cool. And I do know that's like, yeah, it's pretty up there. And it definitely is in Europe. Yes. I know that sounds really dumb, but I'm terrible at geography. So I was like, yes, that makes sense. Oh my god, no. I need to drive my bicycle 30 minutes in the rain in TC. Yeah. And then the wind must have hit you like crazy too, no? I wonder what that would be like if you went downhill. Even worse. But then again, that's a blessing and a curse, because downhill is always the better way of biking. I'd hate to go uphill. But in wind, there's no way. I haven't been on a bike for years. But it's because, okay, so like the city is a good place for biking. It's just like cars are insane. That is normal for us. Okay, cool. Interesting. Yeah, like I would like to go biking more, but in a city it's like kind of scary because they're gonna hit you like crazy. Because people don't pay attention when they drive. Well, people don't pay attention in general. But yeah, that's cool. Do you want to say like what you do, or like, what's a good question? What's like your favorite ice cream? What's your favorite ice cream? I like to know those things. It really says a lot. Mine is peanut butter cup. Vanilla. Oh my god. Probably pretty vanilla in general, no? Sorry. That is such a read. I'm so sorry. But I could see that that could be a good flavor. There's really nothing happening there. It's just simple, straightforward. You could put stuff on it if you really wanted to, but you don't need to. But yeah, that's cool. I am a peanut butter, like a peanut butter cup one. That one's my favorite. I like chocolate. Okay, that doesn't really say much about me either. Chocolate. What else? I don't know, there's just so many flavors. There's the green tea flavor, which is kind of cool sometimes, but the best is green tea, and then you put strawberries on top, and then you can mix it. As you could tell, I venture in this a lot. um, Vanilla, you could put like sprinkles and shit on it. You could do. What are your hobbies? Oh, what are mine? Many things. I am a photographer, and I mostly do photography of portrait, but I do mixed media portrait. So I add like cool edits in and try and not make it very Y2K, but I have done that before. Hobbies. I like to craft. I just like to make things and then see where it leads. I think it's a really good therapy too. I love philosophy, and I love what's the other one? Anthropology. Like, I'll read a ton of books on it and just like to decipher it a bit and like to see how it relates into my own perspectives of life. Right now I'm reading. Let me see if I can find it. Right now I'm reading 48 Laws of Power, which, great book. Not recommended for everybody. You have to take it with a lot of discernment, and you have to take it with a lot more empathy when this book is more based on a lack of empathy and only for power and like the gain and for the drive of the sport, essentially. So you have to be really careful with it. But it is a really cool book, and it's really good at like acknowledging the scenarios in front of you and how you can like work with it instead of against it. And also understand that a lot of people are gonna take advantage of you, so you gotta like work with that. And cool. I love fishing, history, skateboarding, fireworks, and aquariums, and badminton, reading. Oh, cool. Fishing. I love fishing. Like, I used to do that a lot with my grandfather and my dad, but I don't do it as much anymore. And like, history sounds really cool. I'm not a huge history person, but I respect it. I don't know what it is. I think it's just like we need history in order to learn about the future, but also if we dwell on only history, then we can't move forward sometimes. Skateboarding is cool. I've never done it. And fireworks. You set that off yourself? You just set off some random fireworks? Okay. Aquariums. Fish are like my nightmare, but I can see that. I could see why you would like it. I wonder if you like have your own aquariums and you like do the whole hobby of setting those things up and like fish and stuff. I think those are really interesting, and especially interesting videos to watch. But I do not like fish to swim with. Badminton is a very intense sport. And then reading. Yeah, same, reading. I don't know. It got really interested in reading a few years back after college. I was just like, I hated reading in college, and then I started reading my own stuff, and I was like, yes, this is actually really cool. But yeah, I don't know. That's really cool though. I like that. I also paint. I'm a painter. Sorry, I'm a little bit. Allergies are killing me today. I'm a painter. I did a bunch of different things in December. That was what I started as a streamer. I did a lot more painting and such. And then, I don't know, it's just a really interesting outlet that I started doing. I really want to get back into it, but I want to try a different way of doing it. I want to be more invested in doing fabric painting and like working on fabrics. I think that'd be really fun. Especially because, sorry, one second. I think it would be really fun because then you could have like patches and then paint on the patches, and then with like little characters, especially because I'm a big fan of like anime and stuff. I think it'd be really cool doing like Kirby or doing like One Piece patches, and you can patch it everywhere. Um, Whatever. And then like everyone can have their own custom patches. I used to I did a jacket before, and I feel like I want to do that again, but it tends to be like such a long process, which is fine, but it's very detail oriented and very much based on placements. So that's where I tend to get like a little bit overwhelmed in that section. I don't know where that painting is, but I could definitely bring it up next time. If you definitely check out my Instagram, which is in my beacons like links and stuff, you can see a lot more of the artwork and my photography specifically. But I'm not trying to like plug my shit, but like that's where I usually post all my stuff. And so yeah, I kind of started doing the streaming first to get more used to being in front of a camera. I think it's a good way of changing up my like schedule and my like way of looking at things, and then also to work on crafts, and then hopefully people want to buy them, and then they can take it and they can have like a little thing, but no pressure. That'd be really cool. Yeah. I wonder what kind of history you are into though. Like, is there a specific type or a specific era? Because I do really enjoy how you can look at history and take it in a, like, not a spiritual, yeah, a bit of a spiritual perspective, or like an energy perspective of how the next few years are going to come up, because it tends to repeat itself and we like to be aware of the bigger issues that are in play. But yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, thank you for the follow, by the way. That's really sweet. That's okay. Have a good one. I hope you have a really great day. Thanks again for the follow. And if you want to see anything else, come by anytime and we can talk and hang out. I love talking about books and reading. So yeah, bye. I'll be right back. But you just hang out. This is my room. But I'll be right back. Always need that coffee. I am a sucker for it. I started drinking coffee when I was like 12. Because I was a theater kid, and in order to get me to stay up for late night rehearsals, my grandma would hype me up on coffee, and then I ever been obsessed ever since. If you have any suggestions on things that I should make, that'd be cool. I don't know who's watching at this point, but that'd be really interesting. I do have my own sort of idea of projects, and I'm gonna like, as I keep doing this, I'm gonna just keep going on with it and like show you as I work and stuff. But other than that, it'd be cool to get some ideas, and we could like work through it. Cool. What can I talk about? We can't talk about the book that I was mentioning. I know it's pretty popular, and probably a lot of people have heard of it or read it, because it's very intriguing by the way that it's like presented, either by advertisements or like the way that people talk about it, or just the fact that it's like pretty much on every sort of space when it comes to self-help in a way, which I don't know if this is specifically a self-help book. It's just a rules book or like a laws book, but it has to be taken lightly, and I tend to put that out every time somebody asks about it, because I've had this book for a very long time, and it's, even at the beginning, like the guy's like, if you don't think that this is real, then you shouldn't be reading it at all, which I think was very funny. Like, he was like, no, you have to take this book seriously or you're not going to get it, and there's no point reading it. And I do take it seriously, but I don't take it in the sense of like manipulative behavior, because that's what this book is written about. It's solely purpose is manipulative behavior in order to get the way that you get what you want. And I think that it doesn't have to be manipulative in order to get what you want. I think you could still be a very decent person and like have real morals and be kind enough to see other people's side of you, but it is a great way of that being a good guideline base with your own sense of discernment and your own sense of realizations. So, I don't know. Like, recently there was this one charter that I read. I don't remember which law it is, but it was just talking about how, like, it's best not to go into business or to have a person that tends to make up their own bad luck, because it brings you down with it. And I think that's very true in a way. But in that notion, you still have to be careful of understand that people. Oh yeah, Law 10. Infection and void the unhappy and unlucky. It's true that you should avoid people in that notion in order to seek out your own life and to just go and do your own thing. Like, you should have people who value you, and not just for the sake of them needing something from you. It should be like a 50-50 sort of deal in that notion. But then again, you still have to look at it like this person created their own mess, and you could care for them and care about them. You can't allow them to expect you to fix things for them. And I don't know, that really sat with me for a while, because it's true in a way of like, yes, life's gonna suck and we do it to ourselves most of the time, and you should give a sense of empathy and you should care about these people and what they're going through, but also you can't allow their messy behavior to affect what you need to do or need to get done, because it becomes a bit more of a distraction than what you set up for. So I thought that was a really cool thing. What is happening with this? that's confusing. When you buy yarn from people, but they don't know how to put the yarn on properly, or they put on your own things and you haven't unraveled it. So you're starting from confusion. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. It was just like, yeah, of course, you shouldn't allow people to leech onto you because they are unhappy with their lives and they can't figure out their own shit, or they're just completely unlucky. But you shouldn't treat them less than. You should just respect them from afar and still care about them. Or like when people who have the same cycles of, yeah, when they have their own cycles of thinking that, and they're stuck in that victim complex, it's hard to be there for them. You still put in a bit of effort to care about them in their scenario, and I think that's important. So yeah, that's a really cool thing. That book's interesting. It's just, you need to take it with a grain of salt, and you need to understand that, like, you can't purposely manipulate people in order to get what you want, because that never works out either. Like, being a heinous person is not going to get you anywhere, or it will get you somewhere, but people will never like you. Do you know what I'm saying? Or you'll never get the respect that you, like, should have, and it tends to bite us in the ass anyways. If only could bite the ass of the people who run this joint, because clearly they tend to be the worst of the worst, yet nothing tends to change. But you never know. Change will happen in its own way. Change always happens in its own way. That is how the world works. And I think now we're in a very karmic system, and karma's very big now, where it will show up in every single way that it needs to be. Like, it wasn't showing up before. Now it's really just like, I'm here, and I'm here to fuck around and see what happens, and it'll be good. And that is something that I greatly learned this past year, is I could be a good person and have good karma, but also I can do shitty things and get a backlash for it as well, and learn my lessons, because it will hit back in its own way. And the point of it is just to be mindful of everything, which I forget sometimes. And the only times the one thing is like, I always think that I'm on the right track, and then, but something feels off, and I don't, like, sometimes I can't see it, right? And that's my own thing of, like, yes, the world will show up when it needs to show you those things, but most of the times those things are shown to me when I'm under the influence, and then I, like, really reflect on it, and then I get really emotional. But I was like, I kind of wish that I just see it in the moment. But I know you're not supposed to see everything, every single thing that happens within its moment. It takes time to really, like, process them. But yeah, it's so weird. And then also, like, I don't smoke weed as much as I used to, but that kind of breaks down this whole, when I do, it breaks down that whole notion, and then it, like, psychs me out a bit, which I could tell definitely gets me off of my game, because, like, today I wasn't even feeling like going and streaming, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm off my game. But then it really helped me open my eyes to something bigger, because I was, like, very emotionally in tune with it. So I don't know, it's weird. It's very weird. So I know I shouldn't do it all the time, because it will make me very lazy, and I won't get anything done, because it will psych myself out. But sometimes it's good, because it tends to show me things that I'm not used to I'm not used to looking at. And with everything going on with my past weekend, it kind of, like, opened that view for me. So yeah, I don't know, it's really weird. It's weird how that works. I ended up getting a new phone. That was something that I had to change. I had, like, the same iPhone for 5 years, and it worked out really good. I got this screen, like, fixed once, and that was because I dropped it. Like, I completely broke it. So I got the screen fixed once, but I knew that like I needed to get a new phone because the battery was depleted. Like we went on the optimizer and stuff at the end, and they were like, "Yeah, your battery is like so done." I'm surprised it lasted this long. So I ended up getting a new phone. It's very interesting. I got a Samsung. I wanted to go back to an Android because Apple's fine. It's just Apple always has like so many dumb issues, and you can only fix it through Apple, whereas Android, it's so much easier to work through because it's more of a tech piece than just a novelty piece. Like even my PC is not a Mac based PC, it's my own built PC, and it's just easier to manipulate and work with and change parts. um, but yeah, I got a Samsung. I don't know what it is. It has so many cool customizable features. I am not making this into like an advertisement, but it does have really cool features. And um, I got one of those like clear cases, and I put a bunch of stickers on my phone because I thought it would be more interesting than buying a case. Because I have so many stickers from cons, a lot of card capture Sakura stickers. So I ended up doing that. I put like I put a Kiro, I put a Sakura, and then I put a hentai sticker on it because I thought that'd be really funny, and so then people can look at it and be like, "What the fuck is on your phone?" But it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just a favorite hobby of mine. Sorry, favorite action of mine, which is not going to be disclosed. But yeah, I ended up getting a new phone, and that is the first new thing of the new year. Now it's just looking for a job in this economy. Very fun. Hello, new viewer. How are you? I'm just talking and I'm crocheting. I'm making scarves, although it's like January now, so I don't even know if people will wear them if I sell them. But I'm making them anyways. I think it's really fun. Um, I love talking, so if you want to like put anything in the chat, that's cool. I'd love to talk to you. And yeah, I've just been talking about the fact that I got my new phone. But also I like Samsung because it doesn't have like the weird features of like tracking your iPhone and stuff, like Find My iPhone, and I did not like that at all. I don't know, maybe it's because I was off like the internet for so long, and like because I was off the internet for like 3 years, and I just feel like I don't need to be monitored, and like the whole point of being constantly watching and observing is so not a thing that I like. So when I got rid of that iPhone, I was like, thank God I don't have a tracker. And I knew I could have turned it off, but I didn't. Or I did, but I just, yeah. And also, like, me looking at other things and, like, the people sharing their locations, it gets, like, addictive, and I hate it. And it was just easier when I didn't know that existed. And I didn't know that my locations were on for certain people. It just, yeah. So now I have, like, a serene idea of not knowing, and everything will happen when it happens, and it feels a lot more better, and I don't feel like I need to control things or worry about things, because I am bad for that. As you can see, I'm very fast at what I do, and that is because I've done this for so long, and I made so many different projects throughout the years that it's kind of like second nature. I think like my favorite, what were my favorites? I made a sweater last year with out of the blocks kind of idea like this, and it was blue. I gave that to my grandma because I wanted her to not appreciate, but I wanted her to use it, and I knew that she was going to use it and she was going to wear it like every day, which she did when I got it to her. I really liked the poncho I made. I did not keep the poncho, but I made it, and it was so interesting. It was the first time using like doing different images in a granny square, which I thought was really cool and something I don't really do often, granny squares. So I thought like that was really interesting and exciting. Yeah, I loved that one. Maybe I'll do that for one of these. So yeah, that was really cool. I have this massive pink bag that I made, but I don't know what to use it for because of the way it hangs. It's so weird. So I use it to hold like other bags in the kitchen. But I think I have it somewhere in this room because I don't use it anymore. But I love that one. That one is a really cool thing to make. I like the scarves that I make, the things that I'm making right here. I got a lot of compliments on them. I think that's why I started doing it, because like I'm doing it again because then I can like sell them out, just make a little extra money. Because I don't usually tend to keep my projects. I only keep a small few, especially when they're ones that I know I'm going to use. For Christmas this year, I made everyone balaclavas, which we all wore together, which was very cute. And I really appreciate that everyone liked them. I don't know if they'll ever wear them, but I appreciate the fact that they liked them. I tried to make gloves last year, mittens. I realized that people don't have really big thumbs. Like, I always thought the thumb was the biggest part of the hand, but no, I was wrong. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much other ones that I've done that are crazy. A bathing suit cover shirt, yes. Definitely did a mesh shirt, and I wore a bra with it, and it was so cool. I don't know why people let me into their stores, but they did, and that was pretty funny. They were just like, okay, and it was really cute. But again, I was just like, they let me in. That's so interesting. I always like to push that boundary, especially when it comes to clothing, especially at my old job. I did not care, and I just wanted to see if anybody would say something, but they never did. So, who knows? I do need to be a bit more professional in that notion a bit, but it's okay. I don't know. I did start working on, well, I did, like, I'm starting to post more of my painting and stuff, so I want to advertise it out more. I think I want to change a bit about how I use my social media, or like what kind of work I want to put out, because that's what I usually use it for anyways. My Instagram is always about my work. My Twitter is about my extreme notions and views. And Twitch is just this. YouTube is just this but recorded. Or like just the same re-uploads. I don't know what else. I don't really use other ones. TikTok was just because it's kind of fun. I don't really care what happens on there. And I don't post, well, I do post crazy a bit on there because it's just fun. The filters are really fun. It reminds me of Snapchat, but I use my Snapchat to talk to my friends, which you will never find. And yeah, I don't really keep a lot of personal stuff online, because if I want it to be personal, I can just talk to my family. I don't need to share it all the time. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. This is what it looks so far. It's still nothing. Like, nothing crazy. I like to use the straight colors, and then sometimes I'll mix them, but I don't know. I need to go hunting for white and browns. And maybe some gold in this one. I think gold would be cute, or like, I don't know what else. Because you have this one, right? and it has the oranges, and it has a little bit of the goldy brown, and then the green, and then the white, and I want to base it off of that. Hi, hello, how are you? thank thank you, thank me, thank you. um I don't know, just been chilling here, but I'm glad if you like it and you enjoy it. That's cool. um I wonder how you found this, and you seem to be enjoying it. But yeah, my plan is like I need to find more colors in order to make this more of a block piece. Because the last two ones I did were such extreme colors that I was like, oh, I gotta find a new way of doing it. But yeah, that's kind of cute. That's such nice etiquette. Oh, interesting. You think that like the more those top streamers tend to be a little bit much sometimes? Yeah, I can see that. Not much, but like yes, it could be a little overstimulating. There's a lot of yelling. I find that they yell a lot, but I find that the internet tends to love yelling. They gotta play to their. Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. To the algorithm. That's kind of cool. Well, if you like this, you're welcome to stay and hang out. I do this most of the time. I mostly just do crafts, and then I talk about things. And I like to talk with my viewers, and if they have any like cool stuff to talk about, I usually try to get involved with it and like see what they like or what you like, and go back and forth. That's kind of how I do things. I keep it pretty chill, and that's awesome. Yeah, I'm very new at this. I'm just trying to get myself more out of my comfort zone, and I felt like this was kind of a cool way because I do like, well, I am a photographer in real life, and I take a lot of photos, and I've also been a person of subject to photos. Like my whole entire life I've always been subjected to people taking pictures of me, but I've never been live, and that's mostly because I tend to have a lot of hot takes, and I know that I need to just drop that cool person car already. That's funny. um, but just a little drop. But yeah, like I have a lot of hot takes, and I don't know how to stop myself. So these are really not stop myself, but learn how to say not say really crazy shit online, but this is a really cool way of like learning that, or like working with that, and also being able to just be okay with whatever happens, which I also like. Like I thought, well, maybe just make YouTube videos, but I don't want to edit anymore. I'm tired of editing. I did editing in school. That's what I went to school for. I'm so over it. I only edit my photos now. But I thought live stream was fine, and it's kind of just like raw dogging the world in a way. Yes. But yeah, if you ever want to see any of my other work, my beacons page is on my links. So I do a lot of different stuff that way. But here I just kind of like do crafts and then see what happens, and I usually tend to sell these crafts as well, and just yeah. I talk about like philosophy or like books I'm reading too, or just like the navigation of like what's going on in this world at the moment, because I tend to be very politically driven too, or just like not politically driven, but I think politics can be like forgetful of the human experience, so I like to put that into play a bit from my knowledge and what I've learned. But I also don't like to say that I am very knowledgeable in those sections. I just know a lot about how the world works, and like how to tell what's going on, and like give decent advice. Like I'm pretty good at giving decent advice. So if you ever have a question or anything, let me know, and we could talk about it if you want to talk about it. But yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I will say though, so yes, the top ones are a little too stimulating. I do have some favorites, but I think everyone has their favorites. Like I watch a lot of Connor, like Sea Dog VA, but that's because I was a huge Trash Taste fan before. Now it's just kind of like Trash Taste has been on a back burner in a way, which is kind of sad. Like Giguk was really cool, and I still watch his stuff because I think it's really funny. But okay, that's cool. Yeah. Also, it's just like what I'm not too ventured into all of this, so it's like who has been this long, right? Who is a top has been always in it. Like when I think about what I grew up with, I grew up on YouTube, and my like thing was always like you have Aya's Cupquake, which I don't watch as much anymore, but I did love her old content, and Smosh. But then there was like the Smosh, the Defy year, and then new Smosh is pretty fun. So I could see that. Like I definitely get that. They do live streams now too, but I don't watch those. Smosh, yeah, I know. It's a little cringe, but also I don't know. It's kind of fun. You are dating yourself. Yeah, I kind of am. Oh my god. I am dating myself. Which is so bad too. I'm not even that old. I just really like grew up with that. And I grew up with like the all G. Yeah. Um but yeah, no, those were good. And then I was a big fan of fuck, what are they called? I don't know if you know them, but they're Mr. Kate. They were like interior design. Like I got really invested in interior design. But yeah, nowadays for streamers and like YouTubers, I like to watch Jody sometimes. Like the freaking Pop Mart boxes, which are addictive. Yeah, I don't know. It's really changed. I remember when like Try Guys was on BuzzFeed, and then all that, and now they're not, and then all that shit that went down. And it's just like, yep, told you so. Figured that one out so fast. It's so funny. Remember when like Tobuscus was a lot, or like real, not a lot, but real. Bye. It's okay. Um, yeah, so weird. Jack's Films, but the Jack's Films kind of been like doxed and stuff last year, which is crazy. I don't know. It's very interesting. But yeah, that does outdate me a little bit. Even though I'm like only 24, it's so crazy how like you grow up on something because it's literally was the era of when you were like born to now, and that was the way that we like consumed, like I consumed content, like we consumed content. I was also a massive fan of Sugar Pine 7. Sugar Pine 7 is what brought me into film and wanting to be a filmmaker. But yeah, no, that was really good. But Rooster Teeth is gone, and so is the other one, which sucks, but it is what it is. So strange how that all works out. something we all must drink. I don't drink enough of it, but it should be something to drink more of. Also, I'm gonna go grocery shopping at some point today, but that is way later. Hello, how are you? Sorry, I'm just drinking water, but I'm crocheting right now. I'm making some scarves, well, some blocks to make scarves. Just had a lot of extra fabric. But hi, how are you? I wonder where you're from, and I wonder how you found this, but I like the fact that you found me. We can hang out. I make crafts, and I hang out in my bed while making crafts, and I talk. I just talk about things, and I like talking to you, but yeah, I don't know, I just talk about all these random things. I'm pretty good. Today's like my first day back into the swing of things and back into life. I took a long vacation for Christmas, so I'm kind of just getting back into the zone. I think I was really stressed coming back on here, because I was just like, it's been a while, and I forgot what it was like, but now that I'm an hour in, it's not as bad. But yeah, it tends to be a little bit frightening. But I'm doing it specifically so I try new things every day. Like, I try new things and try to get myself out there more. So yeah, I don't know, it's weird. But welcome. Yeah, I don't know, I just end up doing crafts and just making stuff. But yeah, I hope you're well. I wonder, what is your favorite ice cream? I always ask this question. Crochet seems interesting to me, but never tried it though. I've been procrastinating. No, it's true. Okay, I get you. Okay, I picked it up like during quarantine, and at first it was very difficult. Like, it's difficult even now sometimes because I still don't know how to read a pattern, but it can be daring at first, but it does get really easy after a while, and it becomes like muscle memory. I was taught when I was little how to do it. Chocolate ice cream, the classic. Yes, okay, yeah, I agree. I like chocolate peanut butter, a little bit of a mix to that. But yeah, okay, crochet. So it's fun, it's really great, it is a good discipline, and it does take time to get used to. And it's not at all about the patterning or about the stitches can be so easy. It's about the way you hold your things, like the way that you hold it, the way that you use it, and the tension. So when you're too strong on the thing, onto the string, it's not gonna like work. Like, this is nice and flimsy, but when you're like really hard on the string, it's going to be very tight, and also it's very difficult to maneuver. Same as if it's too loose, like when you're not holding it in like when you're holding it into like such a loose perspective, it's not going to do the same thing because it's not going to grab, especially because it is a hook, so you have to be very specific to it, and the way that you hold it is very specific. It's definitely a muscle memory thing that you learn as you go. Same as when you decide to get into patterns. I was thinking about buying a DIY kit. Yes, I think that's the smartest way to do it. Just make sure to pay attention on the levels, because I told my friend to do it as well, and this is my fault. I was like, the best way to do it is to start with the cool little kits, because you're like learning something, and then you're also getting something in the end, and you have like a certain structure, and it's telling you what you're doing. But you need to pay attention to the level of it, because if you don't pay attention to the level, you could pick something that's really hard and you'll have no idea what you're doing. But it is a great way of starting, and it's a great way because you're gaining something at the end. You're getting like a cute stuffed animal, you're getting something you know what the photo will look like, kind of like a little reward. So I agree, those are the best way of doing it. Also, it helps you don't have to buy a bunch of stuff. Like, sometimes people go into projects, or like go into arts and crafts, and they want to learn these things, but they buy all this stuff and then it becomes too overwhelming. If you start small and you build as you go, it becomes way less overwhelming, and overstimulating, because you just have a certain goal, you have the certain products that you need. You don't need all of these like hooks, all the different sizes. Just it gives you exactly what you need, and then as you keep going, then you gain those more gain like more hooks, but based off the craft and like stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's the best way to start it, and then it just, yeah, it takes time and learning. But pay attention to the levels of if it's easy, if it's hard, level 1, level 2, that sort of stuff, because it just, that's how it is. I was very lucky in the sense because I learned crocheting from my grandmother, and she had so much stuff that she just like gave me some of it, and then I went for it. Um, but yeah, that was like it was like a gift in a way. But I recommend people who are starting off and don't know what's going on, definitely start that way. But yeah, I'm like making cute squares. I had a bunch of extra yarn, and my plan is that I'm making a scarf. Um, I made 2 of these so far. They get like a lot of compliments on the street, so I thought I would make some, see what would happen if it just goes out to people, sell them. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can show you what the final product is, because I did take it out. This is one that I use constantly. I have all these different colors on it, and I made it a bit messy. I like the messiness of it because it looks more like just different. Like sometimes I feel like, yes, it is nice to get the very pristine work, but I also think that having a bit of a messier texture and stuff would be really cool. And I make them, how long did it take? This one took about 1 solid day. Like I would say consecutive. Like I woke up at like 10, started doing a few squares, and I probably finished at like midnight or so. Yeah, so like I included the breaks in that scenario, but it would usually take around 6 hours, 7 hours. I get really fast nowadays, so it doesn't take as long, and also I should really watch my time. Like I've never thought about watching the time of what it takes, so I will be more present about that, because I think it would be cool to give more information on those. But essentially I made them really big and very long, so then you could like wrap it around your head, because it gets cold in Canada, and then you get like a ton of extra space, and you have all the colors, so it kind of like blends in. This one was like chaotic, but I liked the fact that this was a chaotic one. I have another one that's all different blues, but yeah, it's definitely meant to keep you warm and have a lot of bulk to it, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. But yeah, I also like the fact that it was just a bunch of random colors that I don't like, old stuff that I didn't get to fully use to its like full potential, so like all these little extra fabric stuff, and it kind of made this, which is really awesome. Kept the brat color as well, a little bit in there to remind myself about it. But yeah, I don't know. I got more yarn for Christmas. I dug into my grandmother's basement and found a bunch of stuff, and now I'm just like making it as I go and being creative. I should find a new hobby, probably for screen time break. I'm a freelance web developer graphic designer. Oh, yeah, no, I agree. I think it's really important to have things that are not screen related. I was quarantine and stuff. I was off the internet for 3 years, and this is when I started developing these types of crafts and like these types of hobbies. And can't stress it enough. It's good to have things that are away from a screen. Not only for the fact of your eyes, because it does affect your eyes, and as a web developer and graphic designer, you would know, I am a photographer and an editor, so I wear like my blue light glasses and everything, and I have to take breaks from the computer in order to help with my eyes, because it does get dizzy and stuff. But it also helps you work on stuff mentally. Like, I don't know how to explain it properly, but sitting here, you're working on your things, it helps you think in like a very like meditative state, which meditation is kind of known for one thing of being just like, but meditative state can be whatever it is, as long as you're like thinking and you're allowing yourself to feel and think all these feelings. So and all these notions and all these things that are happening in your life. So having something that isn't a screen is very helpful, because first off, with the screen, you're going to have issues of, if you're watching people, you're going to have their opinions put into your mind, even if it doesn't sound like it, or their words, or just the things that you're taking in from those. It doesn't really help that that meditative state. But when you have hobbies that are offline, it really helps you deep dive into it and really think about the things that you're going on, or like are going on around you, and it makes you like a way more well versed and better person in a way. So I think it's a really good idea. I also do like a lot of painting, so that's where I get that from as well. But yeah, it's really like I always say, like creative hobbies, have a creative hobby. Like you need, like it helps you in so many different ways, and it shows you a lot of value with art and like your own personal creativity, and it helps you build that inner child sense of like creating that bond within yourself as well. It's so good. Like you should do it. Yep, I get it. Meditation is just staying calm and concentrating on, it might be anything. I don't know why people make it sound. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's what also makes it more difficult for people to get involved in meditation or like spirituality and stuff, because they try to make it seem like it's super mystical, which yes, it can be. There's moments and there's like cool revelations, and those are mystical, but there's way more of a practicality to it, and there's a way more of a normal, like, this is what it is, the planes of everything. Like, it's true. They tend to put it into a way that also makes it difficult for people to understand, unless you have a very wide open viewpoint of it. So yeah, no, I agree. It's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I also like to say, like, I am a bit spiritual person in my own way, but spirituality, yes, can be about the things that are happening around us, and like the things that we cannot see, and the mystical point of it. But at the end of the day, it's just the practice of self, and like the notion that like you need to take care of yourself in order to build what you want, and also take care of yourself to see a different side of the world that can be mystical, but doesn't need to be that way. So yeah, I don't know, it's really cool. And it's like such a good way of a gateway into those things, without making it seem like it's difficult. Because I don't want spirituality and meditation and taking care of yourself to seem like it's impossible, because it's not. Yeah, cool. I'm glad that you get it. Like, sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm just talking random shit, but it does work. But yeah. Yeah, I tend to, I don't know, I just thought it would be cool to start filming it, and then that's kind of what we ended up doing here. Streaming, making crafts, hanging out in my room, and talking. Like, I think it's one of my favorite things is just like talking and getting to know people and seeing other people's perspectives. That's what I really try to do here. Oh my god, not even long. I did it at the beginning of December because I needed something to do. I kind of like had a very big dispute with my job, and I don't really work there anymore, so I needed something to just get my mind off of it. And I was painting a lot, but I realized that like I could do two things, like kill two birds with one stone. So I just started doing it, and it was like a few episodes, and then I went on vacation, and then this is my first day back from Twitch, from the vacation. So it's really not long. I haven't not done much in this notion. It was just kind of on a whim. Also, I really wanted to do, like, get myself out of the box. It's something I love to practice. So being live is definitely getting me out of the box because I'm a person that doesn't like to filter myself that much, and it's really teaching me that, like, I don't have to filter myself, but also I need to be not concise, but, like, be aware of what I'm saying, which is cool, and it's, like, a cool thing to learn, which I really enjoy. And then, yeah, I don't know. Twitch is a good platform to talk to people. Omegle became well, was Omegle ever a really good idea? From what I've never been on it. I don't ever want to be on it, but for the videos of the years, I'm like, no. It is not good. But you're right. Who knows? Maybe that should have been my way. That should have been my way to do it. But never in my life have I ventured in that notion. Yeah, I don't know. I just really like Twitch. I like watching Twitch videos. It keeps me busy when I was working. So it's just like, well, if I'm watching it all the time, I might as well do something with it. And that's kind of where I've been at. Because I love watching Alveus, like the Alveus channel and like Maya, but I don't watch a lot of Maya, but I do watch. I've been on Omegle, but never met a normal person there. No, I don't think you would. That's like me when I go on a dating app. I'm like, I'm never gonna figure out what this is. But yeah. Well, I'm glad that you got to have that experience and you got to learn that. But no, there's never been a normal person. Why did they let kids on there? But I know they don't have a say, and like parents should be watching their kids. But like, why are there children? I don't understand that. We don't pay attention to anything as a society, and that's why we have iPad kids. Crazy. But no, it's really funny. It's just interesting that, like, I don't know, maybe I'll go on it one time, we'll see. I think I would just be scarred. I don't really think that I'd be interested, and I probably would be a little bit judgmental at some point, because I would just go off the hinge. Yes, LOL, the iPad generation. I recently saw, like, a video of this girl saying, like, she doesn't know how to handle her child anymore because everything has been built on that iPad. So she took it away from him, and he's, like, an absolute disaster. And I'm like, yeah, but you did that to yourself. And she knows. She said that in the video. But I was just like, how did we come to that? Where did we come into a point where parents don't know what to do with their kids, so they just put an iPad in front of it? And then also, what kind of advertisement came into this world where we thought that was a good idea to begin with? So many interesting things. Like, it doesn't make sense. I never want if I ever had kids, I would never want that to happen. I don't think I would ever do it. If I could, I wish I just had one of those flip phones, but they don't even do that anymore. I guess we are the last gen who lived in both ways, without tech and also with tech. No, it's true. I got my phone when I was 16, but that was, like, crazy. But still, I had, like, an iPod, like the iPod growing up. So you're right. But I still remember, like, going outside and having fun. And I know my brother would kill me, but, like, when we were younger, me and my brother, we would get into, like, some arguments because that's what you do. And my parents were, like, the only way to really figure it out was, we had this, like, blow-up pool in our backyard, and we take it down every year, and there's, like, this, like, random circle in our backyard on the ground, and my dad would wrap pillows around us with duct tape, and then would get us, like, jousting things, and, like, that's how we dealt with our problems. We would joust in the circle when we were children. So I just remember having both ways of, like, being outside and being able to explore those things. But yes, also the iPhone, because I grew up on YouTube. But yeah. Yeah, see? Okay, cool. I like that. I'm 24, but I can understand that as well. And I'm glad that they did that, because even in the age gap between us, there is a massive change. So I'm glad that that was good. But also, with that, do you think you ever would have been into, like, web design and graphic design if you didn't have those things? Or was that something that just came into play as you were growing or going into school, right? Because I will say, like, I went into one thing, and when you go into that one thing, you kind of realize that life takes its own way, and then you find that you want to do other things. So, yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. But yeah, I definitely grew up on having both things, but still able to see that there's a balance and that we need that balance. And then again, I do appreciate the fact that I took like 3 years offline. Like, I literally only went back online about a year and a half ago, and it was like a really great experience of not having to deal with any of that. So I don't know, it's really interesting. I will say though, the time frame of like how to make these scarves is definitely changing because we have been talking. So I am not going to be really good with time management. I don't know, I guess maybe not, because I learned those things on myself. Yeah, see? It's like a double-edged sword in a way, but that makes it sound like it can be negative. Yeah, it's just what it is, and like you probably have both the idea of it based off of based off of having the internet, but also just what is of demand and what you decide to like, right? Like, I went to school for film and to be a filmmaker, specifically in editing, and the reason why, well, I like always loved it, but when I was a kid, I was more into theater, and I was a theater kid, but I was a theater kid and a singer. And then when I went into college, I went into film because I remember watching, I don't know if you know them, but I was so obsessed with Sugar Pine 7, and Sugar Pine 7 taught me a different style of what is YouTube, but also what is film. So that's what got me invested into learning all of these things and what I wanted. And then also there's like the Hot Fuzz movie. Actually, if I look back, the internet was not much filled with yeah, no, you're right. It's true. It's definitely different as well. But yeah, so like the internet helped me get forward to what I want. And then now as a photographer, I still use the internet to get ideas of what I want, because I use different like anime styles and cool art in that way to create mine. So it's like a give and take, but you're right, no, the internet has gotten way worse over the years compared to when we were younger. I wouldn't say that it was still like the greatest thing of all time, but like to me it was pretty great because I wasn't monitored, because people didn't know what you would watch. But then again, looking back at it, maybe things should have been monitored in scenarios. Yeah, I'm a freelance photographer and an editor. Well, now I am, because I don't work at my job that I had because it was terrible. But, yeah, so, you could check out my Instagram, which is in my beacons, like my links here on my Twitch. And, I do a lot of photography. I specifically do portrait photography and, cosplay photography. And I tend to play with it a lot because I really like how with cosplay there's a lot of openness of what you can do with it. So I try to create, try to make people into their own like cute art pieces and stuff, and that's what really drove all of that for me. But it's not my hobby, that's what I actually do. My hobbies are more like writing and craft. And we'll see. I did want to start doing, if I do more of the cosplay stuff and not my actual job, I thought I could set up my computer again and start showing how I edit things, which would be really cool, and just like do breakdowns, and but definitely not the corporate stuff because they would probably be really upset with me. But I would totally be able to show off like what I do, or like why I choose to do the things I do, and like my work style. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, if you like it, you can hang out there. I was gonna post more stuff this year. I just haven't gotten to it because it's literally the beginning. But thanks. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of just came out of random stuff because I was like a video editor for so long, and then I realized that when I was working at a studio, that I could just kind of integrate what I learned from video editing and create into art, and into photography, but also make it more like a visual art, which I haven't done in a while either. So yeah, it's really cool. Thank you. I'm glad that you like it. And the people that I work with are so creative too, so it makes it so much easier. Like, when you work with other creatives and collaborators, it's just like way easier to find pieces that will work, and like pieces that just like speak. Because how do I explain it? Like, I walk in with an idea, like we have a concept, but you never know what the art, like the actual photo is going to be like at the end. So when you go into the photo portion of it, it's kind of a blank slate because you have an idea but you don't know how to start it. And I feel like with that, and like with the collaborative notion towards it, it's just like becomes its own thing, and it's so cool. But I'm really glad that you like it. Yeah, I plan to do more this year and then see how far I go into that, because it's just really fun. It's really fun, and I really enjoy it. But yeah, I one thing I want to do is I want to do some more like gamer cosplay stuff, because I've been doing a lot of anime cosplay stuff. Oh, thank you. And I think that it would be really cool to try something different with it. Um, and I want to work with different people and see what I can, like, try and find new people and new like perspectives of what we can do with it. That's what I want to kind of work on. And I don't know. Some are more realism, and then some are definitely like the mixed media stuff, which, yeah, I don't know how it's gonna play out, but it's really cool. Like, the near shoots are so pretty, and every time I'm so in awe by it. But yeah, no, thanks. I'm also in a restart. Yeah, as a freelancer in 2021. Okay, yeah, that's so cool though. I'm glad that I'm not the only one. But also, I don't know, like, it's good to look at the reset as something, not like a way of stepping back. It's just like what it is. And for myself, I feel like restarting is scary. Like, it was very scary, but I knew that in that job it wasn't going to go the way that I wanted. Not to say that it always has to, but some points you have to realize that your job needs to also be valued for you and how your growth is, where in this job it was never that. It was just, I needed to do this, this, and this, and it was not working. But restarting is so scary because you think that, like, what can be beyond it, but then once you, like, sit down and you really, like, reevaluate what you want, it's just, like, a new way of looking at it. But yeah, that's really, I hope it works well for you. And I hope that you find, like, careers that work for you, because in this world, especially in like corporate world, they tend to always have an agenda. Happens from 2020 almost in 2023. I was completely zoned out. Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. That's so. Well, I'm glad you figured that out. I'm sorry that happened. But also, you're not an imposter. But I understand the imposter syndrome. I'm not telling you how to feel, but I hope that you realize your own worth, and like the worth that you for your work, because at the end of the day, that work is needed, and that work should be celebrated. And if people don't celebrate it, then that wasn't meant for you. But you deserve to be celebrated in your work, because that's you. That's a part of you. So yeah. No, I hope you really figured out, and I hope that in this next start of the career, in your career, that you find ways that it works for you and it doesn't take advantage of you. And if that was you, I'm just saying that from own perspective, and how a lot of jobs are nowadays. I realize I'm not. Yeah. Imposter after getting know about imposter syndrome. No, it's good too that you like took that time to learn that, because it definitely was needed, as you could see. But you're not an imposter. You're doing a great job, and you're figuring out what you can do for yourself. I personally have not seen your work, but I know that you'll be great. You'll be great. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it's hard. I definitely been through that notion in my past. And it's something that takes a while to get over or to move on from. But if we don't notice those things, there's no way to grow from them. Um, so yeah, I understand you. I feel that way sometimes when I'm like getting more into like the social media stuff, and like this, for example, like at the beginning I was very much just like, is it but then you kind of have to let it go and just take it for what it is, um, which does take practice. I'm remembering that song from Among Us game. Oh my god, no, you're right. That's so good. Lockdown days, yeah. I think I only played that game once during quarantine. I I was not there. I'll be honest. During quarantine, I was just smoking a lot of pot and sleeping because I lost my job in that promotion too. So it was just me and my cat. But I can completely understand. And I was on like a movie kick and a anime kick. But yes, I get you. No, that game's so funny too. It does work. Not anymore. I did realize that I have a bit of a problem. So I had been sober for a while. It's just once in a while. I was talking about it at the beginning of this. Once in a while I do, but it's mostly because I tend to get very emotional under it, and it helps open up a lot of stuff that I don't see in my everyday. So I do take it once in a while to work through something that's just like sitting there, and also maybe because I'm just not doing anything that night, but it's very rare. But it's because I realized that with smoking pot I got very lazy and I wasn't paying attention to the moves that I needed to make, especially with the job that just happened. Yeah, same. I think like but I got very invested in it when it was quarantine because there was nothing to do. So I didn't feel like I needed to pursue anything, and I was in a very bad rut. And it did help, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong, it's very fun. But I realize now that if I want to pursue things, I can't really do it because it makes me sad. Yeah, I'm very dependent on caffeine. Very dependent, so I get you. But yeah, so it kind of like have to get rid of it in order to be more consistent in my work and like consistent about doing things, because I'll just get in my head if I keep doing it, and that doesn't help, and that's what also creates imposter syndrome, is like feeling these things. But yeah, I am a caffeine addict. I've been drinking caffeine since I was 12, and I need it, but I have taken a step back from doing as much as I did. I am not a crazy nicotine fan. I only do it when I drink, which is not smart. I don't recommend that either. Okay, I drink coffee, and a lot of different coffees and a lot of espressos, but I do not drink energy drinks, because I have to watch my sugar. But, yeah, yeah. It is what it is. We all have our things. I've just been, like, trying to be a bit more paying attention to what goes in my systems, because now that I don't smoke, I don't really sleep that well, or like it doesn't help me fall asleep, so now I can't drink the sugar at a certain moment because then I won't be able to sleep. I'm doomed here, I guess. No, you're great. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it seem like it was anything worse. You're doing great, and you're allowed to have your thing. I just like I don't know. I'm not like I don't really drink like sugary drinks anyways. I don't drink pop. I don't know why. It makes my head hurt. So I just have never ventured in that world. One time, well, I do take like what are those drinks that are like, I used to be a bartender, so there was like that shot that was Red Bull and whiskey, Red Bull and something. I forgot what it is, but that's the only time I would do it. But yeah. And don't get me wrong, I do like a little bit of nicotine once in a while. I've become so tolerant of energy drinks, can drink a Red Bull. Dude! I don't know how you do that. But I commend you for it. That's really good. Caffeine does not wake me up anymore. Oh no. Also, like, isn't there a thing of where caffeine can, if it doesn't affect you, it means that you might have, like ADHD or something. I don't remember what that is. And you should not take what I'm saying, but there has to be something like that too. But I have no idea. But I guess if you live off of it, then, and it doesn't really affect you, you could do what it is. Yeah, okay, there you go. Hell yeah. The internet helps me out once again. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I had to, like, really take a step back from everything, so my system is very clean, not clean, but, like, it's very much at its spot now, and it's different. But, yeah. But, yeah, don't get me wrong, I do drink a lot of coffee, and my favorite thing is nitro cold brew, and I could drink that like crazy without any actions. But also it tends to make me actually be more productive, which it is what it is. And there's also something about like morning waking up and then going to get coffee and then you talk to the people, and I really enjoy that part too. But yeah. As you can see, I've gotten barely any of this done yet, but that's okay. We talk, we go and do other things, we work on it. But yeah, if you ever want to get into it, I suggest the kits. That's really cool. I wonder what kind of graphic design do you do? Like, is it logos? Is it, what else? I tried to ship to coffee, but because I'm getting used, yeah, no, probably. It probably is exactly less than what it is. I don't know, I got into coffee when I was like, yes, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it now because I'm on my phone. Like, I'm streaming on my phone and I see everything on my phone. So I don't know if I'll be able to. But if you want to share that, you're sharing it to all, and which is cool. You're always allowed to have your own plug, and we were talking about it, so I give you a sense to, you're allowed to plug that. But or send it to me on my Instagram because you checked it out, so you might as well, and then I could look at it. But that's really cool. Yeah, I always like wonder about graphic design because it's a thing that I don't know that much about. Like, I know my portion of like creative arts in digital media, but it's like a whole other landscape and a whole different application. No, like it's how do I explain it? We're on different apps. Like, I use Photoshop and you probably use something else, and I have no idea what that would be or how that would work. Like, same as like game design do, have no idea. Web development's kind of cool too. When I think of web development, I think of, it's not portfolio though, that portfolio was made by me before taking a break. Oh, that's cool. You're good. Take your time. You're allowed to like use old stuff, and yeah, you should totally work on a new one, just for fun. Going back to like web design, when I think of like cool web design, I think of remember like, well, Tumblr's still relevant, not relevant, but still active. But like, they always had the cool like website like things. Thank you. Cool. I'll check it out later. But they always had those like really creative Tumblr account things, and I always wish like my website was like that, or I had a website that kind of reminded of that, because I just remember back in the day I would get all of my Sims content on there, Sims custom content, and there was a really cool freaking websites and so creatively done, and I'm like, how the hell do these people do this? So I'm always in awe by that, and I always wish that like my website could be that, but I have no idea how to do that, so I use a Wix website because it's easy. Pinterest is cool for almost every sort of inspiration and stuff. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I use Pinterest to understand how to pose people, so I can completely understand that. But yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. Yeah. Also, it's just like Pinterest is. I'm glad that it still stays strong. I know that they're doing the weird sorry, what's it called? Like the weird sales things. Oh no! Oh cool. Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay, good. I was like, oh no, why are you staying so up so late? But I can understand that. It is currently. I don't have my thing, but it's like 4 here in Canada at the moment. Uh, but I like that we have the same type of time frames. Like we both are here right now. That's cool. I don't know how you do that, but I can understand. I Do you ever see the sun? Is that a weird question to ask? Do you see the sun? Do you touch the grass? Um, I personally like the daytime. Very rarely. I don't know. I don't know how you do that, but I'm like all for it. All for it. Oh my god. Okay, that's decent. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Um, I I can't relate, but I completely appreciate that. Wait, what's the sun? The sun is a star, but it's something that only happens in the day. How does it look? It looks orange, but you can't look at it at all, or it'll actually hurt your eyes. Um, that's so funny. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a night person, and I don't think I've ever pulled an all-nighter. I think when I was a kid, maybe, but it's been a while. I do not like it. I like my sleep. I like to sleep, and I like to chill out, and I like being in my bed, and that is why we stream on my bed. It's great. Da, da, da. Okay. No, I get it. I understand that. I wish I had a bit more of that quietness because I like live on a busy street, so you hear it all the time. But I could see how that like helps concentration and helps you like really focus on what you want to do. But yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand that as well. It gets really distracting when you have other people around you, and you like when you want to work silently. No, I can understand that. I definitely have been that way. I get that way when I paint. Or I especially like it when I'm like streaming. Like I like the quietness because then it like helps bring in the proper vibe, and also so you're not like I'm not exposing my roommate, but then again, it is what it is, and you can only do what you can. But yeah. One thing I do kind of miss, so like, yes, I don't work at my job anymore, but I kind of miss like the fact of like going somewhere to do the work. But that is just like my thing of having a schedule, and I think what I'm learning right now is how to build my own schedule as a freelancer. Because I don't even know what my schedule would be like. That's something that I really do miss. Oh my god. There's a cat coming. Maybe. And if she pushes over the tripod. Hey. She woke up. Oh, like just a day of what it would be like. I would wake up for like 8:30, be there by 10. I'd sit at a desk all day in a tiny little office in a studio. No window. My walls are filled with boxes. And I would do work on a computer. Like I would edit. I would transfer things, because I was a digital archiver. Like, I would take old footage and I would put it online. So all of his stuff was in like the boxes of stuff that I would have to archive onto. I would be editing that old footage and kind of like making it cleaner and nicer, and then I would send it off to that client, and they would get their work back, and it would be like old like family tapes, like wedding tapes. Like, my boss ran a business for like the past 30-40 years of old footage, and he kept all of it, and we would like digitize it and like send it back to the client and be like, hey, here's old footage of something from that you hired us for a while ago, do you want it back? And that would be my job. And then at the job, I would hang out in the studio, do some of my own work, and then like my own personal work while things are being digitized, because it's, when you digitize something, it's real time, so you have to play it like normally, and it would like take the information and stuff. So I do my own work for photography and stuff. Yeah. And then usually ended around like 6, and then I would head home. Sometimes I'd go to the gym, but that kind of ended because they took away my favorite class, and then I was like, I don't want to spend money on this. And then I would come home and I would make dinner, and then I would do some of my own craft stuff, and that would pretty much be my day. But I do realize that like I should have a bit of an interesting, yeah, no problem. I'd have I would have to have more of an interesting morning routine, but I don't know how people make morning routines, because I wake up and I'm just like, okay, I'm ready. Also, welcome new viewers. Hello. You're welcome to talk as much as you want. I like to talk to you. Ow. But, welcome. I'm actually probably gonna turn this off soon, but I'm glad that this was really active. This was really fun today. I still did not finish this, but I feel like when I finish this, that's when I'm going to turn this off. So, yeah, you keep talking to me, and then I won't finish this, and it'll keep going on. But yeah, my old schedule, like, kept me out of the house, and I miss that a lot, but also it is what it is, and I'll find something else. That's true. That is me. And sometimes I'd be late to my job, but then again, I don't have a supervisor. It was just me. But I would try to be good for that. I don't know. So I want to learn how to make a morning routine, because I feel like it would make me a bit more productive, but then again, I do like to sleep. And I feel like one of my biggest things is like trying to understand how to create my own personal routine, because I do get very lazy. So it's just about that. But also, I think I might turn this off soon because the sun is going down. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. That makes sense. I don't know. It is what it is. Very excited for this new chapter. Very nervous, but very excited for this new chapter. And just to see what will go on. And I guess in a sense I'm learning a lot more about myself in it. But I do plan to have a better sleeping schedule. It's just the vacation kind of hit me, and I'm trying to get out of it. Let's see how fast I can go. it gets more confusing the faster I go, because I'm missing stuff. Also, I'm doing a double, just to make it get more, what's it called? Get more surface area, and it doesn't take as long, but it's not going to be as thick. So I try to go between doing a double crochet and then a half double to create that thickness sometimes, which maybe makes sense, maybe doesn't make sense. That's something that's the lingo. Like this one, see? And then half double. And you just keep going fast until it's done. And then I'm probably going to make another one of these because I have a lot of this yarn. But I do need to go out and find white and some gold, maybe? I don't know what else to go with this. Brown? I don't want to go too crazy on the dark colors. Maybe like a light green? Who knows? But yes, I think once I finish this square, I'm going to be done for the day. Oh, one thing I will say is, you know, like how cars have like the in phone, which is very helpful, and you should, but also it's funny how you could hear it from the outside. Like, I don't think people realize that the speaker, you could hear everything from the outside until you hear it for yourself. But you can't hear it for yourself unless you are hearing it from a different car. So I thought that was really cool. Because for the amount of conversations I hear outside my window just because of a car, you get the good tea of like what's happening. Yeah, I guess it's done. Alright, I am gonna go, but thank you for such a great day. I will see you tomorrow. I'll try something new. I'm definitely gonna like come back and work on this, but also I might probably try to teach, because clearly some of you are very interested in me learning, me teaching that, or just like trying to figure it out. So yeah, I will try to do that tomorrow. But thank you again for such a great time. I have like, let me see if I can wait until the 2-minute mark, because I only have like a minute and a half. But yeah, I think this is really productive, and I think like going forward, I definitely want to make it more like this, like comfy, cozy, learning, talking to each other, advice if you want advice, because I'm very good at that. And oh yeah, Taffy, that's Taffy. Yeah, I think that'd be really great. Make sure to check out all the rest of my links and stuff, and hopefully it'll all work out in its own way. I'm very excited. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off, and I'm gonna go take a walk, and I'll see you in a bit.